Together. Rabbi Dr. Warren Goldstein here live. Hello and welcome.
Yeah, great to be with you.
Love it that you're a doctor and a rabbi, so the rabbi's first. Yeah. Rabbi, doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor,
and
rabbi,
not a medical
like, what
doctor.
do you do when
not
you
a medical doctor, so if you've got a medical problem, you're in the wrong place.
Anyway, I love your energy and I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
You know, what made you, in your own community kind of, want to take a step out of just being, a leader of, the Johannesburg community.
The truth is, when we started it, was originally just to do it for South Africa. In 2013, we did the very first Shabbat project. In October of 2013, it was just for the South African Jewish community. And then I started getting emails from all around the world. People saw what happened in South Africa, really wanted part of it. So we created a YouTube video in early of 2014. And from there, it just spread to the point is last year, it reached 1,152 cities in 95 countries across 10 languages, and this thing has just been growing and growing and growing.
And this is without you having to like push the rock up the hill. Like the rock ended up going over the hill by itself.
Totally, and I think that's the amazing thing. This project has a natural energy. A lot of effort goes in. We've got a tremendous team of marketers and copywriters, and we're producing marketing content and educational content across all of these languages, but it's got a natural energy because I think two things people are craving. One is real Jewish unity, the sense wherever we are in the world that we are combined, that we are one Am Yisrael, one Jewish people. And the second thing that I think people are drawn to is that Shabbat has such a compelling, powerful message for today's world, because people are so much under pressure and are pulled and distracted, and families don't have time together. And Shabbat offers a space for families to reconnect, for people to reconnect with themselves and to reconnect with God and their spirituality.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't have strong families, so it's also, very compelling for people like to have some kind of community around them.
To reconnect with themselves, to reconnect with community, to reconnect with spirituality, to reconnect with God. We need this in the modern world so desperately.
Explain to people that watch, because listen, I too am very interested in this stuff. I study the Torah, and I find it ironic that we're in the Parsha Bereshit, and like this is a Shabbat where like the day of Shabbat was created, this coming Shabbat. So, what is it like getting back into the Torah without it being too scholarly about, the blessings offered on this day, not something you have to do?
Yes, and it's a day of blessing. In fact, that's what it's called. Shabbat is called by our sages the Makor HaBracha, the source of all blessing. And it's a day of blessing because it's a day when God says, take time out of your week and stop working and just take a break and step back. And, by not engaging with electronics and putting down our car keys, not getting stuck in traffic jams, not having a cell phone. Can you imagine being off a cell phone for more than 25 hours?
It's like having to be comfortable with boredom.
Yes, and with yourself, and with the people around you, and with your community. A few years ago, I had an interesting conversation with a woman in the president's office in South Africa, and it was a Friday afternoon, and she said to me that I was waiting for a message from the president on a certain matter, and I had to explain to her, I'm about to switch off my phone come sunset. My phone's going to be off for 25 hours, and it's no disrespect to the president. And I explained to her about the Sabbath and what Shabbat is all about. And you know what her comment was? She said, I'm jealous. I wish I had that as well. And I think that is what's driving this Shabbat project, is that people have this opportunity to experience this. And that's what has made it such a global movement across all of these languages.
And we're talking like it's once a year, but in over 1,100 cities, 95 countries, 8,000 women, bake the challah, which is also a mitzvah.
Yeah, so what happens as part of the project to welcome in the Shabbat, in the Thursday night before the project, women gather across the world. So there were 8,000 women in Buenos Aires in Argentina last year, and there were 3,000 in Mexico City, and there were almost 2,000 in Melbourne in Australia. And throughout the world, thousands and thousands of women gathered to prepare the challah, which is the special bread for the Shabbat meal, to bring that warmth, that togetherness, that sense of energy, the positivity of Shabbat into their families' homes and into their lives. And that's been one aspect of the project. There have been Shabbat dinners, huge Shabbat dinners that have taken place throughout the world. There's been so much energy, and that's what I think is so important about this project. It brings an energy of positivity and an energy of unity.
Okay, now explain. Obviously, we're speaking amongst the Jewish community, but explain to people what it means for energetically for the Jews to come together and appreciate Judaism. How does that now translate into what it means to be a Jew, to actually affect the world, not just champion our own traditions.
Yes, and I think what is so, because Judaism has such a very powerful and relevant message for the modern world today. Shabbat is one dimension of how powerful and relevant that message is, and also the sense of a Jewish unity, of Jewish identity, which is not born out of pain and out of persecution and of anti-Semitism. It's one which is chosen together to celebrate, and I think that's very important, because there's so much going on in the world. It sometimes can be defined by the pain rather than be defined by joy. And what is so powerful about the Shabbat project, which is is why I think people are drawn to it, is it's about a celebration of Jewish identity, but one which is born out of joy and celebration. And that
Which
has
is
a
how
positive...
it was intended.
And that's
to
exactly.
Start with.
And that spreads positivity, that spreads wisdom, that spreads light, it spreads energy in the world.
Now, where are we going to have this in Tel Aviv? I know it's on the 27th.
Yes.
In various locations?
Yes, there are more than 30 events happening across the city of Tel Aviv on the 27th and 28th of October. So it's coming up just 10 days' time. And throughout the world, people should go and have a look at the website and on the Facebook page, the Shabbat Project, and you'll find out all about it to get in touch with the events which are happening near you, because it's literally all over the world. In fact, I even got a...
Dr. Rabbi, Doctor. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. If you could only be in all places at once, but you are.
Thank you. Wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you very much. You too. Have a great